Wow, I just rushed from school all the way to home. I just want to put this video out as soon as possible. As you guys are reading the title, yes, today, out of nowhere, there's been some brand new Mirror's Edge news surfacing, information about the game, and a huge thing that a lot of us has been wanting. So I'm going to read you guys the article. Keep in mind, for this game, I'm going to basically try to follow the development cycle 100%, meaning that you guys should see videos like this, coverage videos, as soon as these news articles go out. Like, it wasn't even something I was really looking for. I just stumbled across on it while looking at the other gaming news. But yeah, guys, there's been some excellent news that has surfaced for this game. You all know I'm probably the biggest fan. We all have, those games that we're the biggest fans of. So this one's mine. This one I'm going to talk about, alright? So keep in mind, this is all a rumor still. DICE themselves haven't confirmed this, but apparently this comes from a credible source. My guess is an industry insider and or a developer who's working on the game right now, right? So I'll leave a link for you can find this information in the description of this video. And I'll also leave a link to my last video where I talked about my ideas, I think 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago when I did that Mirror's Edge video? It was called How to Make Mirror's Edge 2 the Game of the Year. Yeah, it was a year ago. Alright, it was probably 2012, correct? Yeah, June 16th, 2012. Alright, so a year and a half ago, let's just say. Alright, so this comes from Jimatsu, the news source. It was published today at 11:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Alright? And I was at school when I read this, so, I mean, I didn't even... I couldn't have done this video any sooner. I wish I really could have, just as soon as it came out, but, I'm at school. I'm sorry, guys. But here we go. Alright, so new details on Mirror's Edge 2 announced at last year's E3 have reportedly leaked via Rocket Chainsaw, the website of NeoGAF admin Evil Children, which claims to have seen video content of the development. Alright, so I guess that's, that's the person who's claiming all this is happening, alright? So here there are bullet points. And reading this makes me so freaking happy you have no idea. Alright, first of all, the release date. I previously thought it was going to be a 2015, end of the year 2015 kind of thing, a holiday 2015 release date. That's 2 years after the consoles came out, and when you think about the original Mirror's Edge, it came out in 2008, 2 years after those consoles came out. So I just thought, put two and two together, you get this. Well, the game is being targeted for a 2016 release across PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Mac, too. They're actually putting this game on Mac. Apparently that's what this guy's claiming. So, 2016 release, guys, not for 2015, 2016, and you know what? I am damn happy that it's 2016 if that's the case. Because that means that EA's not pushing this thing out the door like what happened with Battlefield 4, and that these guys at DICE are actually working on the game and making sure it's going to be polished and playable, and it is not going to be any of these destructible glitches and stuff like that. These guys are taking their time on it, and EA is letting them take their time on it, and I am so happy if this release date is true. 2016, alright? I also think that's a better release date because in 2015 we have The Witcher 3, and we also have Uncharted 4 probably is going to be a 2015 release. So, I mean, 2016, it's not going to be going up against those conglomerates of video games. It's going to be nice. The game's going to get itself a little bit more attention, I think. And if it does release in the holiday of 2016, I think it definitely could be considered a Game of the Year contender, depending on what competition it goes up against. All right. So next bullet point. The E3 2013 teaser was, in quotations, entirely real-time and generally unscripted, including combat. The in-development build matches up graphically and mechanically. Alright, so what we saw at E3, people want to mistake and say that's gameplay. It wasn't gameplay. That was a target render of what the game is supposed to look like when you actually play it. People get confused between target renders and actual in-game footage. A target render is the staple for which developers build their games on. It's like the image of how they want the game to look, how they want it to play, and stuff like that. It is not a playable entity of the game. All right, it's just simply for developers to look at, and that's sort of the image that they want to output when they do in fact make the game. So it was entirely real time. It said in the trailer that this is all in-engine footage, but it is entirely in real time, and it is generally unscripted, including the combat in the game. So when you saw Faith kick that guy over the desk, that was probably scripted, I think, because when you think, like, that level of interaction hasn't really been done before. Don't get me wrong, it could actually be done, but I think that move when she basically flipped that guy on his back and smashed his skull in, that was probably an unscripted element you can just do in the game. All right. Next, the game is a total reboot of the series. The core goal is to create a, quote, living, breathing city in an open world for players to explore. All right. So we already know the game's open world. This got announced at E3 2013 when they interviewed Frank Gubot, and he said, yeah, the game's going to be open world, which, you know, I did a video on, you know, back when E3 2013 was going on, and I did a video specifically around Mirror's Edge being open world. So it's a total reboot, meaning that all characters like Celeste, Mercury, Drake, Krieg, Jackknife, you know, all these characters, they may not even be in the game, or they may be in the game, but they may have different roles. You know, what happened in the first game, if you haven't played the first game, I'm not going to spoil anything, but, you know, there was some twist, and there was a setup definitely for a sequel continuing off the first game, but it seems, because Mirror's Edge had sort of a niche audience, and it did rather okay in reviews, I believe it averages like at a 75 or something like that on Metacritic, I think they're going to do a total reboot of, they're doing a total reboot of the series, and personally, I have no problem with that. I'm kind of ashamed to admit this because of how much of a fan I am of this game now, but when I first played Mirror's Edge, I skipped all the cutscenes. That's how uninterested I was in the story. I skipped all the cutscenes because the gameplay was so immersive, so engrossing, I just wanted to get back in there as soon as possible. So the story wasn't really received well. It was kind of weak. It was kind of something in the background because it got completely overshadowed by the gameplay. But I think if they, I was saying this in my video, if they go for a more emotional, more realistic kind of approach to the story where we get to see the people in the city be oppressed by the huge government and everything's about control and you're being watched all of a sudden. If we get to see all that happening, like actually be there during the riots and stuff that took place in the city. Granted that this is all from the first game story. It may not even be something similar in this game, but you know, that emotional mark is essential for creating a story that people are going to be involved in. You want to feel like you're attached to these characters. So it's a total reboot of the series, have absolutely nothing to do with the first game whatsoever, which I personally am fine with. All right, next, the open world environment includes a persistent, always online, yes, components, where the open world is considered a multiplayer playground where other players can seamlessly drop in and out and freely choose their level of interaction with other players in the game world. Journey's online feature was given as an example, that game Journey on PSN. Wow. I calmed down a little bit, you know, since I read this about an hour and a half ago, but guys, this is what I was begging for in my video, that 45-minute video, and I was like, guys, we need an open world online multiplayer component for Mirror's Edge 2. We need an open world online multiplayer component, and guess what? We're getting it. If what this guy says is true, we are definitely getting an online multiplayer open world that's somehow seamlessly in the campaign. This is something I also am a little bit confused about, because the open world, is it a separate entity from the single player, or is it all in one? You know, it's kind of weird because you have Fate's story. Are we going to see like 20 different Fates, you know, walking and running around the city? Or is it going to be like a separate entity where we go into a lobby that has the open world and that we're able to, like I said, create and customize your own runner and stuff like that? Guys, Mirror's Edge 2, if this really does have the persistent always online open world, I mean, and especially with DICE working on it, if they can get 64 players in that open world, that's going to be incredible, exceptional. I haven't played Journey yet. I'm you know, sad to say. I need to play that game. But, yeah. That is the biggest news here today, is that if what this guy says is true, because remember, it's all rumor, and this is what he's claiming, a persistent, always online, open world component. It's going to be interesting. They're probably going to give you the option, you know, for people who don't want to do the always online thing. Don't worry. I'm sure it's going to be like Watch Dogs, where you have the option to turn it off and play the game single player and whatnot. So, all right, moving on before I go on. Multiplayer components. Other multiplayer components include co-op and competitive modes such as time trials. Time trials was in the first game. The first game, that was the only multiplayer mode. You had time trials where basically you would race against other people's time, but it wasn't in real time. It's not like your friend was sitting next to you and you guys raced through an objective. It was like you raced in a level by yourself. It uploaded a ghost of your time, and then people would race against each other. But guys, co-op and competitive modes. Again, this is what I said in my video. I said I wanted a capture the bag sort of mode, where it's like capture the flag, but you know the runners have bags, and everyone's just running around. They're pushing each other off buildings. They're trying to score for their team. This is everything that I wanted. It's literally everything that I wanted. It's like a dream come true. And I'm wondering whether or not right now that those guys actually saw that video. That video I made, how to make Mirror's Edge 2 the game of the year. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to leave the link in the description. But at the end of that video, I said, send this video as an email to DICE. Because I gave them actually full permission to use my ideas. I literally said, like, you can use my ideas and I won't sue you or do anything like that. I wanted them to use my ideas, and if, you know, they're clearly using ideas that are similar or the ones that I actually said in the video. It's like everything that I asked for. It's turning out to be the game that I really envisioned, even though I'm not actually working on it all. But it's amazing. So, new enemies, including some AI opponents on equal footing to Faith, meaning that they're going to be able to parkour and stuff like her. They had enemies like this in the first game, the runner cops that they kind of had at the end of the game. So I guess it looks like they're going to have those enemies return. Are being made. Additionally, there's a standard cannon fodder. Additionally, there's a standard cannon fodder protectors, melee combat expert sentinels, and armored gun wielding enforcers. All right, so standard cannon fodder protectors, probably with, you know, your standard guys in SWAT suits. Melee combat experts and sentinels. All right, so people who are just going to do hand-to-hand combat, and the armored gun wielding enforcers. They had those in the first game. Those guys that just had like a bunch of armor on. You could easily take everyone out just by getting by disarming them. The problem was getting that disarming cue like perfect. The timing was essential with disarming in that game. But yeah, so you got a couple. It looks like they're gonna have some similar enemy types, but some new for this melee combat one is brand new, which is gonna be pretty cool. All right, so and for people who are skeptical, Faith will not have a gun. All right, people were skeptical when they saw that gameplay. They're like, oh, but look, it's action-oriented. They not once in that whole gameplay trailer did you see her actually pick up a gun and start shooting people. She disarmed someone with a gun and then threw it on the ground and continued the fight. So Faith will not have a gun. She didn't have a gun in the first game. She didn't have a gun. She's not going to have a gun in this game, if what this guy, again, is saying is true. That's great. I beat Mirror's Edge the first time without shooting a single bullet at anyone. It was a trophy that I wanted to get, so it's pretty awesome that again, she's not going to have a gun, and that it's not going to be so, you know, gun-focused. I'm sure, like the first game, you'll be able to pick up a gun and shoot people if you want to, but you're going to have to get one first. So, alright, now here's another exceptional, and this is actually proving that we, the community, the fans who wanted this sequel, are actually, you know, have an effect on the development of this game. So, feedback from the first game's combat system has helped shape the second's, which has seen heavy revision. There is no more gunplay or one-button combat. Really? Never mind to what I just said. There is no more gunplay or one-button combat, but a deeper system that emphasizes speed and fluidity. Environment interaction is a key feature to combat. I guess they're going to be using some of that Frostbite 3 Destruction 2.0 technology that they have. With Faith being able to push, punch and kick enemies out of the way, and over ledges, tables, and railings. Alright, so environmental interaction. The guy's near, if you're on the bridge and the guy's near the railing, you kick him, he flips over and falls down. But that's interesting. No more gunplay. No more gunplay. So you're not going to be able to pick up a gun anymore. Man. That's going to be pretty interesting to see how they tackle that. No more gunplay. I'm really interested to see how that works. And one-button combat. Apparently, you're not going to be pressing right trigger all the time to just punch. You're going to be able to string combos together and stuff like that. So this is pretty cool. A deeper system that emphasizes speed and fluidity. Alright. Okay, cool. So these physics-driven interactions are combined with a 1, 2, 3, and kick-style combos. 1, 2, 3 punch and kick-style combos. Alright, so she had her 1, 2, 3 punch, and then probably like a jump kick or something. I'm just imagining here. But there's also wall running combos, flip combos, and other martial arts moves, as well as brief grapples. Wow, the edge hook. This is interesting, guys. As well as brief grapples, but what's she grappling onto? You know, does she have a grapple hook now? Because one of the things I said in that Mirror's Edge video was the introduction of, I call it the edge hook back. That was kind of stupid, the edge hook, alright? But I wanted to put edge in there because of Mirror's Edge. But edge hook was, my idea was that when she's running, she would do like a Batman kind of thing where she'd shoot this edge hook at the corner of a building. It would grapple onto it. She'd be running on the side of the building with, you know, this grapple connected there, and she'd be able to jump off and get across the city that way. It wouldn't be like Batman where you can just fly around and be like Spider-Man all of a sudden, but it'd be limited to being able to, you know, just running on the buildings and getting across bigger gaps and stuff like that. But this is interesting, as well as brief grapples. Huh. From time to time, a third-person takedown move will be used when an enemy is beaten. And adaptive slow motion. Slow motion was an option in the first game. You had to press a button to initiate it. Now it's adaptive, meaning that it's sure to just just initiate whenever something cool happens. But it's used very sparingly to highlight certain sequences. All right, so she's doing some epic moves. She does like a roundhouse punch, and then it's like slow motion just before she hits the guy in the face. So something similar to that. But I like that third-person takedown move. Thief did this. With its combat system, you would have a takedown move, and the combat was slow. But you'd have this takedown move would go to third person, and he'd knock the guy out. But it seems that Mirror's Edge is going to do something similar, but something you know, that's a little bit more cool looking. All right, and the last one is Mirror's Edge 2 is being considered a racing game at heart, as the team is focused on creating a game all about parkour, speed, fluidity, and mastery of the environment. The combat changes are being made to seamlessly integrate encounters and the combat system into the feeling of speed and mastering parkour. Guys, this is if everything in here is true, from what this guy over at NeoGAF is saying. I know people have mixed feelings about the admin over at about NeoGAF, you know, the whole website of NeoGAF. But just imagine for a second if what this guy says is true. This is exactly the game that fans wanted. This is almost exactly what I was asking for in my 45-minute video. Go watch that video. It's a year and a half old. It was before Mirror's Edge was even announced that it was getting a sequel. Go watch that video, because like I'm imagining right now, like people, like the Dice devs actually seeing that video and taking, you know, the good parts out of it and stuff like that, because it's like I don't even have anything to say anymore. I don't even have like anything to wish for. It's like I don't have anything to add. You got everything. They literally gave me everything I wanted. Just make the game. Just freaking make the game. There's nothing more I want. They got everything. Wow. I'm speechless at the moment. I really am. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I just wanted to again give this quick update about this new information that surfaced. I will be following the development of Mirror's Edge completely, so expect videos when something big happens, like, oh, Mirror's Edge is going to have I don't know, a 20-hour campaign or something like that, or versus maybe something as big as that, or maybe something as small as Mirror's Edge is not going to have traffic signals for the roads. Like I will literally report on that. All right, that's how much I'm going to keep you guys informed. As soon as you know, I know. That's the except for today because I was at school, and as soon as I got home, I started recording this. But that was an hour ago. I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you guys think. Check out the article below. If you haven't already, check out my 45-minute video, How to Make Mirror's Edge 2 the Game of the Year. I think you'll be very surprised of how similar everything was in this that I mentioned in this video and everything that I mentioned back in that video. I think you guys will be surprised. I cannot wait. A 2016 release, I'm damn well happy they're taking their time. And I hope to God that if they need more time, if they need to delay the game to 2017, go ahead. Take as long as you want. Alright? As long as the experience that I'm going to get at the end is the one that the fans have been wanting for, I will wait however long it takes to play something like that. It's going to be if it does release in 2016, it's going to be 8 years. 8 years after the original Mirror's Edge. 8 years, guys. Almost a decade from the original Mirror's Edge. Man. I'm going to go. I'm going to go be excited on my own. Have a great day, guys. Let me know what you think and check out those articles and videos below. Bye.